And welcome to this edition of ACAP Today for the week of January 25th, 2021. I'm Jason Parent, already the end of January, hard to believe. On this week's edition, we are going to chat with folks from the Maine Resilience Building Network. We're going to talk about Youth Matters and why that program should matter to all of you and all of us here in Aroostook County. But before we get to that and our special guest this week, we are going to share with you the news and information that you can use from the Aroostook County Action Program this week. And we'll begin by sharing with you, first of all, that our offices do remain closed to the general public. You can call ahead, and we encourage folks to call ahead. We have a video doorbell at our facilities in Presque Isle and Holton on Military Street and in Fort Kent in the Industrial Park. And we encourage you to connect with us that way. If you do need to drop paperwork off for the Home Energy Assistance Program or any other program, we will gladly come to the door and get that paperwork for you. If you are in need of any of our services, we are offering all of our services with the exception of some housing and early care and education services, which are still being offered in person. We are offering all of those remotely, so we do encourage you to connect with us, and we would be happy to serve you in any way possible, but for the safety of our employees, we do remain closed to the public at this time. We also want to share with you this week that today, the 25th of January, we are officially reopening our Hope and Prosperity Wellness Shelter. This is a shelter for individuals experiencing homelessness in our community when there is no room in the local homeless shelter. It's an overflow shelter. It is also the facility where we'll be having individuals who present as homeless before they receive their COVID test and can be placed in the homeless shelter. We'll be doing that in partnership with a local hotel. We encourage you, if you do know of anyone who is experiencing homelessness and maybe had difficulty getting into the shelter because there was no more room, to please direct them accordingly, as there may be an alternative through our new Hope and Prosperity temporary wellness shelter for homeless individuals, again opening today. We also want to share with you that our Young Workers Academy, our second session of a Young Workers Academy for ages 16 through 24 in our community, individuals who are looking to start a career, will be happening from the 16th of February to the 8th of April. We just successfully completed our inaugural Young Workers Academy and had some great youth that are started on their career journey as a result. This session, the sessions over time help you learn about employability skills, how to manage money, meet employers who are hiring, and you even earn a salary during the course of this because you are placed in a work experience. The 8-week academy, again, will be held on Tuesdays and Thursdays with the work experience happening around that. If you are interested, you can use the email address there on your screen or give us a call at 764-3721 and hit extension 5 for workforce development. The Aroostook County Cash Coalition, sponsored by the County Federal Credit Union, has reconvened for the year and are doing tax preparations for households earning less than $57,000 a year. ACAP is a proud community partner along with United Way and other great community organizations in this program. They have, like most others, gone virtual. It's a scan and go virtual tax preparation by appointment only. Documents will be scanned and handed back directly to the individuals. If you have any questions, please call the United Way of Aroostook, and you can also scan your documents to countyfcu.org if you would like to do that. But I encourage you to call United Way to see how they would like you to proceed, because we are going to be able to collect across Aroostook County in different locations for this service. The rent relief update, I wish I had more news for you on this. We're still awaiting word and are working on negotiations with Maine Housing on the new rent relief program that was part of the stimulus package passed by Congress at the end of December. The most recent rent relief program, as many of you know, expired on the 30th of December. We are hopeful that we'll have a new rental assistance program up for February. And if you are in a difficult position right now, there will be an opportunity to collect arrears for rent that was unable to be paid in January. Again, this new program will be for households that are impacted economically as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So please do, I know it's tight right now, but please do hold on, and we hopefully will have a new program up and running as soon as we have the green light from Maine Housing to do so. The COVID-19 vaccination effort is happening across our community. We very much encourage you to get in touch with your local healthcare provider, or if you are accessing information online, to check online. The healthcare providers across Aroostook County are each doing it differently. Some are encouraging that you contact your primary care physician, but they have or are about to move into the next round, phase 1B, which includes residents age 70 and older. So that's a good portion of the Aroostook County population, but please do check with your local area healthcare provider because the vaccine supply is limited at this point, but we hope that more of our community will be vaccinated in the coming weeks. We also want to remind folks out there that we are scheduling into February, which is not bad at all, for Home Energy Assistance Program appointments. And we do have plenty of available slots. Our team has done an incredible job this year of getting more of our customers served in the early months of the heating season. And again, a reminder, even though you have your appointment in February, the any benefit that you may qualify for will stay on your account for 18 months or until you use it completely on your fuel vendor account. So you may not need the assistance in this particular season because you maybe already made your arrangements, but this would be available for you at the start of the next heating season. There are new income guidelines over the last couple of years, and by our estimates, we think hundreds, if not thousands, of more county households are eligible for the Home Energy Assistance Program. So our guidelines are available on your website. The income guidelines are available on our website, I should say, and we certainly would welcome taking a call from you. And all of our appointments are being held over the phone at this time, and all of the documents are able to be mailed back and forth. So it's a contactless process this year. Please do consider calling us. This is a great program and one that we hope many Aroostook County households take advantage of. If you are in need of any assistance and quite frankly don't know where to turn at this time, as a result of CARES Act funding that we were able to receive here at ACAP, our ACAP Navigator program launched in the early spring months. This is a program that is designed to help you if you're not aware of what services and programs are available for you or how to connect with those services. Some of those services are available here at ACAP, others are available by other great partner community organizations, but our navigators are trained to be able to help. They'll listen to you and they'll be able to help connect you with the services that you need. Give us a call at 764-3721 and ask for our navigator services if you are in need of any of these services or not sure what services are available out there for you. We also want to let our community know that since the governor passed her most recent executive order around face cloth masks, and President Biden also passed a recent new executive order around this, that we want to make sure that all of our community members have access to face masks. And so we are offering free face coverings. Just come to our facility in Presque Isle, Holton, or Fort Kent, ring the electronic doorbell as I've told you, and we will get masks out to you. If coming to us is an imposition or a hardship, you don't have transportation or can't access transportation, give us a call and we will mail these out to you. It's very important to us that we keep our community healthy and to make sure that accessing a face mask is not an impediment for anybody to help us do that. We also want to share with you again, as we have been, that our community closet project has expanded to better serve the community. This is located exclusively for now at our 771 Main Street facility, but we have built a little structure that's open 24/7 outside of our facility where folks can leave clothing. We've had some great winter coats dropped off this week to help folks, or people can come at any time of the day and get clothing that they may need for their family. So please, it's a give what you can, take what you need situation, and we encourage you to use that. If you want to drop the clothing off to us, you can drop it off during the day or at night, any time of day, and we will hang it for you. Or if you want to hang it yourself in the community closet area, we certainly appreciate that as well. And speaking of give what you can, take what you need, our community cupboard network, ACAP has a few of these, but we've been so blessed by a generous community of other nonprofit organizations and individuals who have sprung up these wonderful little community cupboards across Aroostook County. So if you are in need of immediate food assistance, this is not to replace by any means the wonderful network of pantries that are available out there, but we understand that those are staffed by volunteers and available only certain hours each week or month, perhaps in a given community. So this is really an immediate food resource for you. Inside each of the community cupboards across Aroostook County, we've provided some county food resource guides, which help you, direct you to your local pantry and other resources. But please do check it out. We just recently partnered with the Bread of Life Soup Kitchen on Collins Street in Caribou and have added a new one outside of that facility to help serve the Caribou community. So look for your local community cupboard if you are in need of food assistance. They're peppered throughout Aroostook County. We also want to remind folks, we had Greg Doak on as our guest last week to talk about our Homeworks Homebuyer Education Program. We have scheduled classes. There are still a few available slots in the class for this Saturday, the 30th of January, and available slots in the remaining 6 classes after that that will be held March through September. These are all held virtually, and they're all held on Saturdays over an 8-hour period. And the nominal fee to participate in these classes gets you many, many benefits, including credits off the closing costs of your home, of your new home purchase. And so with record low interest rates right now, we're certainly seeing a surge in interest in these courses and invite you to join us as well. Our workforce development team is collaborating with workforce development organizations across the state of Maine to offer employment and training program informational sessions, all virtually. We encourage you to give us a call if you'd like to register for any of these. We'll get you registered online, and we have professionals from our agency and other agencies across the state collaborating to offer these on an ongoing and rotating basis. And so we hope that you may take advantage of them. This is available for youth and adults, and we encourage you to connect with us on these. We also want to invite folks who may have an interest in joining the ACAP team. One of our guests today did so and stayed with us for 25 years. So she can vouch that we have we're a great place to work, and I think do some really purpose-driven work. So if you have an interest in joining our team, check out our website. We do have some openings at this time. We also, in the last things that we want to talk to you about today, are smoking and tobacco. We do have 2 programs here at ACAP. The first one I want to note is for organizations and businesses out there who are interested and in need of updating their tobacco policies, especially with vaping and things of that nature that have sort of crept in to the tobacco environment at this point. We do that free of charge through our tobacco program, and Chastity Holland is available to work with you on that. She can show you sample policies and help you draft a policy that's appropriate for your workplace. She'll also provide you, upon the successful completion of that, with free signage such as what you're seeing here on the screen that you can use at your business to help educate your staff about your tobacco-free environment. So we then, again, welcome you to contact us if you're in need of these services. And lastly, if you're looking to quit smoking, as many people have in the new year, but are having difficulty doing so, or just are looking at your options and what it would take to do so, Elaine Sipe, who is our tobacco cessation coordinator, is available to help. She can be reached at the information on your screen. She can access quit kits for you. She'll hold virtual meetings, individual sessions, and group sessions if you prefer. Talk to you about making that quit plan date, and also connect you with some free nicotine replacement therapies to help in your effort to quit smoking or quit tobacco products, other tobacco products as well, including vaping. So with that, that's this week's news and information that you can use. I'm very pleased now to welcome to this edition of this webisode of ACAP Today 2 guests, one from right here in Aroostook County, who's the individual I was speaking of earlier, who spent 25 years of her wonderful professional career at ACAP. Daryln and Kini is a member and secretary on the board of directors for the Maine Resilience Building Network. And we're going to also talk with Kini Tinkham, who is the executive director of the Maine Resilience Building Network, who also has a fondness for Aroostook County as well, and lots of community connections here. So some great county and statewide connected folks joining us this week, and I am pleased to welcome both Daryln and Kini to the program now. Welcome, ladies. Nice to see you both.
Yeah,
Good morning.
Good morning.
So let's start at the very beginning, Kini, and helping folks who may not know, because I know that there are a group of folks who are quite aware of the work of Maine Resilience Building Network, because you've really been doing a lot of outreach, and Darylen as well. But for folks out there who don't know, tell us what Maine Resilience Building Network is about.
Thanks, Jason. The Maine Resilience Building Network, often referred to as MRBN, is a statewide nonprofit. We have been in existence since 2012, and our mission is to educate and raise awareness about adverse childhood experiences, which are early traumatic events that happen before the age of 18. And more importantly, we speak to protective factors, ways that those of us within community, schools, and family can support and promote resilience in all people. And today we're focusing more on mattering for youth across Maine. So we are an organization that you can register at our website, maineresilience.org, and sign up for our newsletter, and you'll get all of our mailings. And most of our events are free or at a reduced cost. But thank you.
So we're going to talk about the Youth Mattering in just a moment, but I'm going to bring Darylen in here for just a minute, because Darylen, you've dedicated your professional career as an educator, but also a lot of work around health issues in local communities. And Kini spoke about ACEs, or the adverse childhood experiences. And you certainly throughout your career have seen the impact of ACEs, probably even before they were identified as ACEs, Darylen. So talk to me about the importance of why you're engaged in this work, given your career and working with youth and as an educator.
I think it's really, really important for us to recognize that, yes, Aroostook County is remote, but we're not immune from the things that happen to people. And many of those things I certainly have witnessed with a lot of the work in my career has been with disadvantaged youth, people, kids who've been living in poverty, and whose parents may want the very best for them, but may not know how to provide that, and may not know, may not be immune themselves from early childhood experiences, adverse experiences. So the reason I'm in it is because I truly believe that we can promote resilience. We can, just because a person experiences those kinds of things, no matter how many, that doesn't mean it's a script for the rest of their lives. We can make a difference. And that's really what I want to do. That's what my entire career has been about, making a difference, particularly for youth. So that's why I'm in it, Jason.
Well, great. We're glad that you are in it, because you're a great advocate and voice for Aroostook County. And Kini, in terms of the youth mattering, I think that Darylen just underscored why it matters so much that we engage in this conversation with youth and about youth. Talk to me about this newer initiative of the Maine Resilience Building Network and its sort of launch and what you're hoping to achieve.
Thank you. So in Maine, we have data from the Maine CDC and the Department of Education, referred to as the Maine Integrated Youth Health Survey data, along with national data that looks at adverse childhood experiences and looks at how youth perceive how they matter within community, within their schools, and connections that they have within their family. So MRBN, through our trainings and education over the number of years that in our work, we've been looking at mattering scores, and that is at the middle school and the high school level, where youth answer, do they agree or strongly agree that they matter within their community. And MRBN has believes that we can do better across Maine. We know our communities are strong. Our communities want to support and have thriving children, families, and community. But to do that, we need to raise a youth's perception that they feel like they matter in community. So statewide, we're looking at scores of about 59% of middle schoolers who feel like they matter, and 56% of high school students believe they matter. And the scores are very similar in Aroostook County. So just about half of the youth across our state feel like they matter within community. So that means that we have work to do. We see these as failing scores, and that we need to embrace and connect and build protective factors through healthy relationships to support our youth. And I can show you today a definition of what mattering, one definition of what mattering is that Jason will show us. So this is work done by a researcher, Gordon Flett, and he speaks to us that mattering is the sense of being significant and valued by other people. So people who believe they matter to others have a key protective resource that can buffer them from life stressors and challenges throughout their lives. Thank you, Jason. So this initiative doesn't directly speak to programming, although Aroostook County, as an example, ACAP has many programs in place that support mattering. It supports these healthy protective factors that are being developed. But we can also do that within community by simply acknowledging, engaging, connecting with youth, whether it's in a store, in a business, pumping gas. You know, it may be in community, out at the playground, when we see older youth, when you're there with your younger youth. So we can do better, and it can be modeled, right? So if we all begin to connect with youth, we can have others look at our behavior. And I know Darylen has some wonderful experiences that she can speak to this in Aroostook County.
Sure, why don't we do that, Darylen? Because I know that you've had personal experiences throughout your career, but I think both you and folks who work at this agency see these kind of interactions every day and have an opportunity to make a difference, whether they know it or not.
We do, and I kind of want to share one story with you that that is a good example of the kinds of things that make a difference and help youth realize that they matter. You should know that my most recent experience with youth is directing the TRIO Upward Bound and Talent Search programs at the University of Maine at Presque Isle, which I did for several years, 15 years. Part of the Upward Bound program is a 6-week summer residential program, and guidance counselors recommend students who qualify by virtue of their income level, neither parent having a college degree, 4-year college degree, or if they have a particular academic need. So one summer, we had a young man who was significantly overweight, very quiet and withdrawn. He'd been bullied at school and walked the halls with his head down, you know, not making eye contact with people, looking kind of dejected and depressed, according to his guidance counselor. But he was also courteous, and he really wanted to help people and help the program. He often held doors open for people, for staff or students. And at Upward Bound, we have a tradition called pats on the back. And those pats are given daily by staff to the students and by the students to each other. And usually we start our mornings that way. We have a morning meeting and we start with our pats on the back, sort of sets the tone for the day. So this young man started receiving pats on the back, a lot of pats on the back, for his many acts of kindness. He was just always wanting to be helpful. And he also received some other recognitions. That wasn't the only recognition he got, pats on the back. We had a person from NASA come visit us that summer, and this young man was in special ed classes as well because he had a particular learning disability, but was very bright. So he asked a question, and the man from NASA recognized him and said, "What a great question," and came up to him afterwards and continued a conversation. Anyway, so that was one of the other recognitions he got. But he was really so uplifted when he got those pats on the back and on a regular basis. So when he went back to school in the fall, his guidance counselor called and asked me, she said, "What in the world happened with this young particular man over the summer?" And she said it like he was a really different fellow altogether. He was walking the halls, she said, with his chin up, making eye contact. His demeanor was proud. He had a different attitude altogether. He really mattered. And that was projected in that particular instance. So that's my story about one strategy that I've seen work with kids.
Thanks, Darylen. Yeah.
That is a great story. And so, Kini, the work that you're trying to do is to hopefully have more stories like that happen across Maine. And so what direction is the Maine Resilience Building Network taking this work in, and how can we as a community engage in that?
Thank you. And wonderful story, Darylen. So we are moving our conversations out into communities across Maine. So we have 9 public health districts that reach all of our 16 counties, and we will be in Aroostook County February 2nd from 1 to 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon for a Zoom virtual event. And you can register by visiting our website. And our purpose through these community conversations are to simply engage a cross sector of community members to talk about how all of us can raise youth mattering within communities. And this will be a facilitated discussion. We'll have some questions, but the goal is to move towards a conversation. So we will help support and flow the conversation with bringing up some questions initially for the hour and a half. But we want to hear from our community members. What are we doing well? What do we recognize in our communities as strengths? Where could we improve? How do we reach across all youth that we serve in our communities? What might I do differently? Recognizing that any of us could set an example for others within the community. So if we have the flyer that's available, you can reach out to ACAP for that, or I'd be happy to send it to you. Register, visit our website. But we want to hear from faith leaders, business leaders, civic leaders, neighbors, family members, and all the folks doing these great coalition and social service work such as happening in ACAP. So everybody is included. And really it's a time to listen and share and learn together. And then you folks within your communities will be able to maybe refocus and think about ways that you can work to improve mattering for all youth in Aroostook County.
So it really is, Darylen, for anyone in participating in the Aroostook County event, the virtual event, again happening on February 2nd from 1 to 2:30, for even if you don't work directly with youth, right?
Absolutely. Even if we don't work, I don't work with youth anymore. I'm retired. And there are things that I can do still with youth and with other people too. It's not just the youth that matter. I think when the adults around them also feel like they matter and are contributing, they're better supporters of youth. So I think one of the things, just to go back to ACEs for a minute, ACEs are defined as those things that happen, negative experiences that happen, particular ones to youth under the age of 18. So the sooner we're aware of a child or a youth that has been affected by ACEs, the better. So I think that's one of the reasons why we're focusing on youth mattering, because we all can make a difference.
And Darylen, it's a good point, because we have been talking about ACEs, but I don't know that we've actually spent any time in the interview just giving people some context on identifying what an ACE is, because there are things that happen on an everyday basis or that are not as traumatic as one would think initially, but that have a traumatic impact that are considered ACEs. So can you define a few examples of ACEs in just a general form so that people can wrap their heads around what is an adverse childhood experience?
There are several. The original study had 10, but there have been several added since then. There are things like having a parent who's an alcoholic or using drugs, having being abandoned by a parent, the death of a parent is an ACE. Living in extreme poverty is an adverse childhood experience. If you're not sure where you're going to put your head on a pillow next, or where your next meal is coming from, that's an ACE. And Kini, I think you can probably add to that list.
Yeah, thank you. So neglect, it may be emotional neglect, it can just be physical neglect, or it could also be abuse, be it sexual abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse, along with other household challenges that Darylen has spoken to. But what's important here is our ACE score is not our destiny. Right? It's really important that we recognize it's not our destiny. So through healthy relationships, particularly with a caring adult outside of the home, within community, youth, or anybody who experiences ACEs, right, can build protective factors, right? And we can still promote and grow resilience. And that can happen anytime in our lifetime. So the investment costs zero. There's no investment to being kind and compassionate, right? It doesn't take a program. It's really just connecting. And that's what this Youth Mattering program's mission is to do, is to improve youth perception that they matter. So they're feeling more connected to community, more engaged, have aspirations, want to be a part of Maine's great communities. So thank you.
It doesn't cost anything, but as Darylen can attest from the story that she shared with us and many others that I know she has, the value on the other side is immeasurable, quite frankly. So what haven't we discussed that either of you wanted to make sure folks knew about either the upcoming session for Aroostook County folks, which we'll bring back up on the screen before we leave, and or anything else with Maine Resilience Building Network?
Thank you. So again, I just invite you to join the conversation. If the Aroostook County date and time does not work for you, please register for another event. And we do have 2 scheduled in the evening. So if you want to attend 6:30 to 8 p.m., there are 2 dates available. So please engage. If you decide to attend, I'm asking people to invite someone to join you, right? This can happen, it's virtual. We're unlimited to how many guests can join us. So please join the conversation. We need to hear from you.
Darylen, anything you'd like to add?
Well, I do think that there are a couple of other important things that I want to say that don't cost money. And one of them is recognizing people and celebrating people for who they are, their authentic selves, recognizing that we are a diverse community up here, even though it's not apparent on the surface. If we dig a little bit, we'll see that there are all kinds of diversities and that people need to be recognized without judgment for who they are. And that is definitely a protective factor, as well as community service. I think when you do a service for a community, you get back probably more than you've given. And I think that's a really important strategy in terms of involving community and having our community recognize our youth as really mattering and being able to help. And we saw that all the time in all my jobs. We've seen that all the time. So I think those are just a couple of things, but I really appreciate the opportunity to have people join us in these really, really important community conversations. So I'm sure we'll hear lots more from other folks.
That's great. Looking forward to a very rich conversation indeed on the 2nd of February. Daryln and Cote, Kini, Tinkham, thank you so much for both joining me today as our guests on ACAP Today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, so before we leave you today, just a reminder of the Aroostook County event. But as Kini pointed out, if you can't make this event on February 2nd from 1 to 2:30 on Zoom, and you can register for it right on the mainresilience.org website. You can also see some of the other county convenings, and certainly worth your while and time to listen in on those if you can't join in on the county conversation. Again, that's February 2nd from 1 to 2:30, a Zoom event hosted by the Maine Resilience Building Network to talk about youth mattering, and we hope that many of you do indeed join in that conversation. Speaking of connecting with folks, please do consider connecting with us if you are in need of any of the services, or if you are just not aware of the services that are out there for you. We know that many individuals right now and families are struggling that haven't had to reach out for support before. So we are here for you, and we look forward to chatting with you. You can call us at 764-3721. You can send an email at info@acap-me.org. You can visit our website at acap-me.org. Check us out on Facebook as well. Do like us on Facebook. Our development and communications team does a great job of putting out information about our agency regularly, and so you might see something there. We are also on YouTube channel. You can view past webisodes of this broadcast, as well as some great things that our early care and education and health prevention educators have put out there to the community during this time virtually. And we're also available for you on Twitter if that's your preference. So please do consider connecting with us. And before we leave you this week, we leave you with our snapshot of the week, as we do each week. This is our Community Development Committee that met for the first time in 2021, just last week. They are a group of ACAP team. It's our hybrid board and staff committee working diligently side by side to make life better in Aroostook County, and looking forward to some great work by this group in the coming coming year. So thank you to our community development team, again, comprised of board and staff. Thank you to all of our board members and staff and volunteers across Aroostook County that make our work happen and help make life better for Aroostook County residents every day. On behalf of our team across Aroostook County, it's a great pleasure to say thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next week for another webisode of ACAP Today. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.